welcome back to Perisno, guys. If you can't tell, we're about to assault Ibdali's castle. And what I was doing was waiting for a few more vassals to turn up. You probably can't see it on YouTube, but in the prisoner's hold we have Earl Pedra and Aethling Quinmin. And I think those are both vassals of the Realm of the Falcon, so we're going to try to set these guys free, and there's 195 units in here. I'm hoping that this won't be a total massacre when we go in here. But you never know. And it's going to be a siege tower, so this is going to suck. 72 hours. So I'm going to wait. Abandon the siege. I'm going to wait until... Can we wait until tomorrow? Yeah. We can wait until it's at least dawn. Early morning will work. And then we'll build a siege tower. That way it's kind of daylight whenever this thing gets done. Hopefully. And I am not going to sell her back, actually. Reason being is she likes to raid my villages a lot, and I don't like that very much. Now, we didn't get foreign iron given to us, but that's okay. I didn't really want it to begin with, so no skin off my back, to be honest. Zagoosh is being raided. Count Alfalcry. Now, this guy just sold back to the Redwoods, and that's a little annoying that he's wanting to... that he's already up there raiding our village already. But that's okay. That is quite alright. We will get him back for that very shortly. Lone Beggar comes up. Yeah, we'll give him 100 orms. Gain our honor back. Oh, and so we've made peace with the Redwoods. And I think maybe we can continue the siege. Probably not, though. Yeah, we can't continue the siege. Okay. So the siege is broken. Mayandra has leveled up, and I've already spent her points for the most part. The reason it still shows that she needs leveled up is because I haven't put her skill points into anything. I'm waiting to level up probably her agility. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut away, and we're probably going to go up to Hakon territory. And of course it would go to peace after that guy looted our village. And actually, no, I'm not. The Hakon has no fiefs left. It looks like Drahara and the Kakoth Empire have pretty much taken care of the Hakon, so the Hakon should be eliminated any time. That's interesting. I wasn't even watching that, to be honest. So, who else are we at war with? Let's see. Faction relations. I don't think we're at war with anybody besides the Hakon. Yeah. Not that I can tell, anyway. I mean, I can't really see anything past these few factions here. So, I don't think we're at war with anybody now. So, I guess what I'll do is just break up this campaign here. Let's see. I think that was the end of the campaign. No, there it is. So that's it for that campaign. And what we'll do is go up to... I'm going to cut away and go up to Dasuk now and patrol around those lands. Maybe earn some money. Get our morale back up. It's at average now. Level up some troops a little bit, I think. And I will cut back as soon as we go to war or I figure out something else we can do. Okay, so I was traveling around and trying to find something to do, and I found a unique spawn, but I went to sell my slaves and he was gone, so we traveled over to Murdenhall, and I found this guy, Remus. I've talked to him before, but I never got a quest from him, so I'm thinking we'll talk to him again and see if he's got a quest for us. Greetings, traveler. Care for a drink? Why, sure. There you go. Don't worry about paying me or anything. It's on me. The innkeep here doesn't charge me anything after I helped them out with a gambling debt. Then again, they don't charge for things within reason, of course. But still, they're generous souls. A far cry from the people I used to associate with. What sort of people? The Wolf Knights. My story with them is a long one, and I'm willing to share if you're willing to listen. Absolutely. Where to begin? I am the younger of two brothers. We lived in a small village nestled amongst the foothills of the Reichs Mountains. It was a fairly isolated place that saw the older men mindlessly driving away their chores, while the younger men nurtured dreams of the world that lay beyond the village. Lupus, my older brother, was in charge of guarding the village animals from the wolves that lived not far away. Every night he would stand vigil over our meager livestock, with the howling of the wolves to keep him awake. Strangely, the wolves never attacked. They would prowl in the darkness, barely visible by the light of Lupus's torch, but they never approached. My brother complained to our village elder, Garl, that his position was useless. Elder Garl wouldn't have any of that. Nonsense, he would say. And Lupus would spend the next few nights without provisions. Eventually, my brother came to me one day, all worked up over something. He kept flexing his fingers, eyes wide and shoulders shaking. From fear, anxiety, or exhilaration, I couldn't tell. One of the wolves approached him the other night, he told me, spoke to him in the human tongue, asked him to follow it. Sounds like he had just fallen asleep or something. That's what I thought too, yet he vehemently denied that suggestion, insisting that the wolf had spoken to him. Okay then, I said, I asked him what the wolf had shown him. He wouldn't tell me. He just shook his head and ran off to the village for water. Then the next day came. Lupus and another lad got into a heated argument that drew the whole village around. The argument threatened to get violent when Lupus's hands blurred faster than ours could follow, and smashed the man's head into bloody pieces. That couldn't be good. It certainly wasn't. We stood there in stunned silence, too afraid to say or do anything, while Lupus stared at his bloody hands. Elder Garl was the first to gather his senses about him. He proclaimed Lupus exiled from the village the moment he did. Why not just hang him? I imagine it had something to do with my brother's apparent super strength. Getting him in the gallows would have been a hard task, looking back on things. Despite what he did, I couldn't stand the thought of my brother traveling alone. I asked Elder Garl if I could leave with Lupus. He nodded, but I think his mind was still trying to process what had happened. We left the village at dawn, with no farewells from the people we grew up with. As we trudged away, Lupus stopped me and laid his hands upon my forehead. Blessings upon you, brother, he said. And what happened next was, I don't know how to describe it. Imagine the thrill of adrenaline, the bloodlust of battle. Now take that energy and multiply it 100-fold. That energy coursed through my veins, leaving me paralyzed. But when I regained my senses, I felt reborn. I felt strong, powerful, able to take on the world 1,000,000 to 1. It was strange. After his blessing, I could lift boulders with one hand and run faster than deer. We began our lives anew. At first we traveled from city to city, fighting in the arenas. Our strength was unmatched. Lupus could shatter shields with a flick of his wrist. I would dart around my opponents and knock them to the ground before they knew what was happening. Surely you're joking. I do not jest. I could knock you to the ground and be out of the city before you could get back on your feet. But moving on, we won fight after fight, tournament after tournament. Prize money came to us, and we eventually bought our own armor, weapons, horses even. Notoriety came too, and soon we had a small following. Lupus had an idea. Why not go bigger, beyond the arena, become mercenaries, he said, and see more of what the world has to offer. We recruited from our following and admiring fighters, and so the Wolf Knights were born. I'm afraid I have no time for any more today. Perhaps another time. Yes, understand. Farewell, traveler. I shall finish this the next time we meet, if you will. So let's try talking to him again. Yeah. Can you finish your story? Roaming through the misty forests of the Redwood Nation, traversing the dry deserts of Drahara, meeting lords and ladies for employment. It was amazing and exhilarating. We won battle after battle, always fulfilling whatever tasks the lords of Perisno set upon us. More soldiers, experienced veterans, joined us. The feeling of fabulous wealth and glory. Ah, there are no words to describe it. Lupus even found an old abandoned fort. We used it as a base of operations, and our new found wealth had turned into a fortress to rival that of any lords. It all sounds too good. Of course it was. Life does not ride upon a single wave of euphoria. Our brother was changing. I didn't notice it, nor did my other brothers, as we ourselves were changing as well. We were getting more ruthless, brutal, merciless. Bloodlust became our one true companion in battle, blind rage consuming us as we tore down our enemies. Lupus was getting more ideas. These so-called lords are weak, he told us one night. They are foolish, ever quarrelsome, unfit to hold their titles. They cater to feeble, leech off the strong. Our brother's Perisno is ripe for the taking, he yelled. Let me cast down the pretenders that lounge in their thrones, said he, and let us show them the true meaning of power. We all cheered him on, our adrenaline going into overdrive. The idea that we could hold our own kingdom, or even conquer all of Perisno, anything seemed possible to us. So what happened? Well, nothing happened to the Wolf Knights per se. It's what happened to me. One night came when we raided a Tauranian caravan in the woods outside Vinica. They never knew what we were coming. We charged out of the darkness, our lances lowered, swords swinging, their blood splashing. There was a caravan guard. Couldn't have been any older than me or Lupus when we left our home. I killed his horse while he attempted to flee, sending him to the ground, leaving him trapped under the weight of his dead companion. Mercy, he begged, with my sword at his throat. He was a grown man, fresh into adulthood, and bawling his eyes out like a small child, sobbing into the night. I did nothing. In the midst of the clashing swords and dying screams, his face stood out above all else. I didn't know what was happening. The bloodlust was fading, and I was staring at the red and pink gore splashed across my greaves. Lupus came in bloodied armor on his black mare, saw what was happening, and plunged his sword into the guard's chest. He twisted the blade and drew out the man's screams before he choked on his own blood. And my brother simply glared at me and rode off. Later that night, he drew me away from the camp. I thought he wanted to reprimand me, scold me for my hesitation. I can't do this anymore, I heard myself saying. The most peculiar sensation came over me, and suddenly I was on the ground, staring at a sword embedded in my gut. My own brother had stabbed me. You are weak, I heard Lupus say. The pack cannot function with a lone wolf in its midst. Face death bravely, Remus. And he left. The last I ever saw of him, his silhouette blocking out the stars above. The night was getting darker, the stars dimmer. I passed out from the wound, and I might have died were it not for the passing elven lord. I owe Count Methanor my life. Had his party not come investigating what had happened, I would surely have died, isolated and alone. He recognized my face from seeing it in the arenas and took me into his castle to heal me. So what did you do then? It took months, but I was able to recover thanks to him. I inquired about the raiding party my brother and I had led. Without inferring, I helped organize it and discovered that they had left before Methanor came. I felt different once I had become healed, more determined and less wild. I turned down Methanor's suggestion that I swear homage to Queen Arlena, thanked him by swearing a life debt to him, and left for the Reich. I eventually found the old village I grew up in burned ruins. Everyone dead and gone. Bandits, apparently. Perhaps it was Lupus. I tried finding the fortress we had set up for the Wolf Knights. I couldn't find it because I couldn't remember where it was. It's strange. You'd think I'd remember where it would be. Anyways, I now spend my days traveling the land, looking for hints of Lupus's whereabouts. Perisno needs to know the threat he poses. His world is one where only the strong will thrive, while the rest shall be cast down. That was quite the tale. Thank you for sharing it. No, thank you for listening. I've never told my tale in its entirety before. Beware the wolves, friend. I remember. The wolf can survive without the pack. Let's see. Wait, I almost forgot. Could you visit Count Methanor sometime and tell him I, Remus, still search for it? I'm sorry. Please accept this token of my gratitude for listening as well. Anyone who is forced to endure my dreary tale should at least get some type of reward. Of course, thank you again for that story. So we got a quest, and we also have this quest. Count Methanor. So we need to deliver that guy a message. But I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet. We're still looking for food. Our morale is slightly above average. So I'm just sort of waiting it out. I mean, we could. We're not at war with the Redwoods anymore, so he should be over here somewhere. But we'll see. We may as well travel that way, I guess. We can go to Galway and get some more food. Fight some bandits along the way, I suppose. And I'm hoping that this guy won't be too hard to find. Now we could go get the goat herd. Ah, that'd be fine. I'll do that off screen. We do need food, so I am going to stop here and go check out the goods, which they do have some. We have a lot of grain, sausages, and cheese. What kind of horses do they have? Champion, Black Guardian, War Charger. Wow, riding of 8. Spirited Black Guardian, 51, 38 maneuver. It's not that big of an upgrade, unfortunately. Champion Red and Black Warhorse. Still not that big of an upgrade. Armor, I don't think we need. Wow, 51,000 for that. It's crazy. 51,000 for that as well. Jeez. 19,000 for old soldiers armor. It's interesting. 450, 420. I don't think Lady Meander needs it. I've given her 2 lances so far, and they've both disappeared. It's a little annoying, I have to say. $147.15. Yeah, I think she'll be alright with that, to be honest. We'll get her some more stuff later. So, moving on to Redwood territory. We need to go... Well, Vinica's probably the best place to go. Unless there's a vassal in here. Young noble, yeah, we'll challenge him to a duel. Of course he refuses. Yeah, we'll go in here and ask this guy. If he knows where he is. Which he probably won't, but... He might, though. He should. I don't know why I would think he wouldn't. He's a really good relation with us, too. Location of someone. Count Methanor. Chide. Okay. I don't know if the Redwoods are still at war with anybody except for Torrania. But they're always at war with Torrania. So where's Chide? Chide's over here. So hopefully we can spot this guy out pretty quick. Yeah, he's he's actually raiding Chide. So we'll see what he has to say for himself. And he's a good relation with us too, for whatever reason. You may have bested Lady Nograd. Yeah. Remus told me to say that he is sorry and he still searches for it. What? How do you know Remus? The lad is still alive? Yes, I met him in a tavern. He told me to convene the message to you. He told me his entire story. It was saddening. Indeed, that lad has had a miserable past. I hope he is well. The Lord's eyes grow distant. Thank you for giving me this. Take this token as my gratitude. Farewell. Well, that kind of sucks. I mean, is that really the... Let's see if we can talk to him again. No. Okay. Well, I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. So what I may do is search for that unique spawn again. So I'm wondering if that's like the end of the quest. Surely not. With that much backstory and lore behind it, surely that's not the end of the quest. Queen Aegea, huh? Veteran slaves. Should we try to take her? Lots of veteran slaves. Laka Ankar's warriors. 80 rangers, though. That's an awfully big spawn. Maybe not yet. I mean, we could probably... take her, but that's an awfully lot of units, though. 400 units against our measly 200? I don't know about that, man. I'm actually looking for that King Ref Klassen guy. He was up here somewhere. But I haven't seen him since I went to sell my slaves. I'm actually hoping that he'll turn up somewhere. I'm almost betting that he's like over here somewhere. I wish I could find him like really easy on the map, but I have no idea where he would be, to be honest. Zan units, Ilka Falca units, we don't need those. He's probably not over here though. He's probably further over in this area, if I was guessing. Sakar camp. Wow, look at all the Sakar raiders. Slightly ridiculous. If we wanted to start like a Perisno faction, just Perisno units, I mean, this wouldn't be hard. And look at all these guys. They have like so many peasants and farmers and such that they would level into Perisno units really fast. I wish that I could find him. I don't think I'm going to find him in this episode, though. If I do find him, I will probably start that off, like, right as the next episode starts. So, until then, I know this was a slightly boring episode. Our patrol's still alive, that's good. But, I guess they can't all be entertaining. So what I'll do is go in here, go to the tavern, see if there's a... I don't see... I was looking for an entertainment guildsman, but I don't think there's one here. You can get morale that way. But alright, what I'm going to do is end this episode off here and maybe do a little bit off-screen stuff. And then probably pick back up as soon as I find King Ruff Glazen. So I thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry for the boring episode, but hopefully the next one will be a little more exciting, and I will see you then.